Welcome everybody to this week's KubeVirt community meeting. It is the 18th of June 2025. I hope you're all doing pretty good. Just lowering the bar time, just pretty good today. If you could please, let me put the agenda into chat. If you could please add your name to the attendees. I'll just try and sneak myself in here. Okie dokie. Let's have a quick look. Oh, first of all, is there anyone here at this meeting that would like to introduce themselves, whether they're new or they've been before and haven't done so?
Yeah, hi, I'm Alexander. Nice to meet everybody. I love KubeVirt. I'm enjoying being here.
Welcome, Alexander. It finally happened. Is there anybody else here who would like to introduce themselves, even if they've been here for potentially 4 or 5 years? Very well. Let's have a quick look at the schedule. I believe Code Freeze is in a week's time. 25th. Yeah. Okay, so next week, next Wednesday, we'll have the KubeVirt Code Freeze. This is the first time that we're running with the VEP proposal process. So hopefully this goes smoothly. I guess that's just something to be aware of when there's lots of PRs at the last minute.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in depth in the next meeting, but generally, if you need some reviews for PRs that relate to a VEP that we're tracking, this is the time to nag everybody, ping whoever's necessary. Yeah, that's the time to do so. Yes,
especially if it's SIG Compute owned VEP. You got to nag the hell out of those guys. And you've already missed the opportunity to nag the SIG storage team. They had their fortnightly meeting this Monday. And if your VEP is owned by a networking team, you'll have to bother them on either email, the PR, or on the Slack channels. Now, the upcoming CFPs, been a bit of a mess. We've got just had DevConf and KubeCon, Cloud Native Con Japan. So I think this is a little outdated. You can see all the stuff that we just did. Coming up, we have co-located events for KubeCon, Cloud Native Con North America. So those are happening on, I believe, the 11th of November, just for KubeCon proper. That doesn't sound right. 12th, 13th? No, maybe it's the 10th. So if you have a talk that might suit one of them, I think there's 10 or 12 different co-located events. I think you should be able to follow this and see all of them. Let's test that theory. No. Ah, there they all are. More than 12, a whole bunch. And there's also the Maintainer Summit. If you are, there's a whole bunch of restrictions for this one. But yeah, if you're involved in a CNCF tag or a Kubernetes SIG, you'll be eligible to put forward a proposal for the Maintainer Summit, which happens on the 10th of November. Just on the subject of events and stuff, I'm working with the CNCF for this year's KubeVirt Summit. You'll notice it hasn't happened yet. It is going to happen. We're working with them from the beginning this time, a little bit different from last time. There's quite a big, there's just a bit more process involved with that. The date that we're aiming for is in early October. Hoping to get that locked down in the coming days/weeks for an open CFP at the start of July, I think. start of mid-July, roughly. But yeah, once we have those dates nailed down and we have a timeline, you can expect an email from me. So I don't know if anyone saw my comments on Slack or on the mailing list. So I think Monday night, European time, it was announced, well, the CNCF and Kubernetes learnt that Slack was changing them from the long-standing, I think, 10-year enterprise for free because they're open source projects. Subscriptions, they'll be moved to the standard free tier, which means that there's a bunch of, I think there's a restriction on, there's bots, there's a restriction on how many workflows you can have in your channel, but probably the one that's going to hit us the most is it no longer has a permanent history. Everything gets restricted to a 90-day limit, which I only have experience with through I think the Write the Docs workspace, and it's surprisingly limiting. So we have a long history. I think the KubeVirt dev channel started in maybe 2020. So 5 years of history are going to be disappearing. I don't know if you've ever thrown a question or searched for something and then found the answer in a very different channel than either KubeVirt dev or virtualization. So that's all going to basically disappear. The CNCF is backing up all of the public channels. What going through that is going to look like at this stage, I don't think anyone can say. But what they can't back up is any private channel or DM, direct messaging. So any of that, if you are interested in maintaining that history, if it's longer than 90 days, it will disappear on Friday. We don't yet know what time. The suggested backup option, and you can do this, you don't need any administrative right for the channel. You just need to be a member of the channel, is to use Slack dump. There is a link in the newsletter here that was put out. And I think as well, the CNCF put this out, which is actually the guide to using Slack dump. Yeah, do we have any questions on that? All right. So there's a huge mess at the moment as everyone tries to get all this done and like back it up and test it and make sure we've got everything before Friday and it all disappears. The obvious question is, are we going to stay on Slack or are we going to move to something else? So that's happening, CNCF wide. As a project, we can decide, as other projects have, just to do our own thing. I'm of the opinion that we wait and see what the CNCF decides, and we just see how the 90-day limit affects us. And then otherwise we can, we can move to something else. Discord's the one being thrown around a lot at the moment, but there is, I think, Mattermost and Zulip are the other more open source and smaller project friendly. So those are just some options, letting you know where we stand on that. I sent an email earlier today about the version 1.7 unconference. So that will be 1 day this time. The thinking being that now that we have the vet process and that the SIGs are going through these VEPs on a semi-regular basis, that the prioritization conversations between SIGs doesn't necessarily need to happen in an unconference. It should be happening in those SIG meetings. So we're going to try just for 1 day this time, Tuesday, July 8th. So that links to the mailing list I sent out, the thread rather. It's already set up. It's the same HedgeDoc instance. We'll be using the same 3 Zoom rooms. If you've got something that you want to add to it, please, by all means, you don't need to wait until July 8th while we've started to add your ideas to the topic list. The document is live. You can add all of your ideas now beforehand, and it'll speed things up on the day. Does anyone have any questions about the unconference? Alrighty. So KubeVirt version 1.5.2 was released within the last 2 weeks. I can't remember which day. I think Federico sent out the list. Can I put him on the spot and just ask him for a 10-second overview of what was included in this? And you can say no if you want.
Now, can you hear me? Probably.
Yes, now I can hear you.
Sorry, I was fighting with the microphone. Yeah, then basically there was a bug that was preventing a vendor to to run their test suite. So we released it because there was a fix, and we basically just to allow them to start again consuming the new KubeVirt and allowing them to successfully run the test suite. Not a big change release because there isn't a long time span between the 0.2 and 0.1. So that's basically it.
Right on. Thank you. So I don't see anything else that has been added to the list here. Is Kike here? I do not see him. He put forward a question on the mailing list. Do we want to clone these errors as VMI errors as well? I seem to be here to speak to this, but he's not here. Does this make sense to anyone else?
Yeah, it's a what? Where this is coming from? The emails? Let me check. From which date is this, by the way? So Kike answered.
No, this is his question.
Yeah.
If I understand correctly, Kike suggests to bump errors that are related to the container runtime level, related to CNI, bump them on to put them where in VMI.
Yeah, that
Consider
cannot.
this.
How is it related? I don't understand. I will try to contact him.
Okay.
I will contact him now. I'll ask him what is going on.
Ask him why he isn't here to explain himself.
Yes.
He said he would be.
He said so?
Yeah. Tell him I'm very disappointed in him.
Yeah, I'll write it to him. 1 second.
Okay. While we wait, I guess, for potentially Kike to arrive and explain himself. Itamar and the rest of the C Compute people, just to let you know, I did not do the PR or the bug triage this week, so I'm just going to let you guys worry about that.
Cool, sure thing.
Thank you very much. And also, does anyone have anything else they'd like to jump in now? Anything they'd like to suggest or talk about or ask? Anything at all? If Kika's not here in a couple of minutes, we'll just end a bit early.
Yeah, I don't see you answer me, but in general, maybe it's a good place to ask if Igor, this what you said is what is written there. Then, like that log is from the from the CRI, I guess.
Yes, I question if I do kube describe a pod on the Kubernetes level, whether I see these errors from the CNI when the pod is on failed state, for example. Well, Kiki suggests to mirror these errors. So when I do kubectl describe VMI, I will also see it. So it will be more clear why VMI didn't came to
Yeah, but
specific
how does
state.
it
If I
work
understand,
really? How does it work when they do it on the pod?
that's something I need to find out because I'm not sure where these errors currently present in Kubernetes.
So usually that error is in the journal because it's like the
Yeah, because it's from the
binary.
drive.
So how does the pod knows about it? I don't get.
Exactly, that's something that is also unclear to me. How does it go? Who collects these logs and put them on the API? I mean, on the API server on the object on the VMI status.
Yeah, but we could say that the general question will be if something is if there is a pod and it failed and there is a description of the failure on the pod description, right? How is it? Does it make sense to add it to the Vircator or the description of the VM or VMI? I'm not sure.
Exactly. I need to look at it more in depth.
No, but does it make sense in general, like from conceptually, I would say, to propagate the error like up?
I think so because if it's too ambiguous why VMI was failed, then I would be all for pumping it to the VMI object status or whenever they store errors from the lower layers.
Okay, and do we do it also for VMs?
For not for VMIs, for VMs.
Let's say the VMI failed. Does the VM shows why that it failed because the VMI failed?
I think so. Yes.
Okay. Well, yes, if it makes sense to propagate the error, so in order for you to see why something happened at the upper layer, then I guess what he's asking makes sense.
I mean, yeah, if we already present, let's say, a libvirt error, when we cannot bring up a virtual machine because, I don't know, one configuration or other. So why won't we present this also?
No, I think the difference is between components. Like if libvirt is not coming up, you know it inside. So it's like under your control and you can do whatever you want. But if it's another component that is not coming up, does it make sense that you will take from it the reason it doesn't come up and report it yourself? A component, when I say component, it's not inside things that you control. It's somewhere else, like a pod or storage or something else.
You know what, I would prefer to take it to the open discussion we had like daily with C Compute.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, awesome. That will pass forward to converge to it.
So Kike will come now, but I don't know if we want to wait for him.
It's too late.
Yeah.
It sounds like he should join the SIG compute meeting now and talk about it there.
Yeah, it's also good
Igor,
idea.
you meant to take it in SIG compute, or you meant to take it in some
Yeah,
other
we
place?
have SIG compute. We have a meeting in 7 minutes.
Okay. I'll tell him to join the SIG compute.
Oh, he's here now.
Yeah, why not?
Enrique, you're too late. We talked about it.
I'm sorry. I totally spaced out. Yeah.
So they're going to talk about it. Join the SIG compute meeting, which will start in 6 minutes' time.
Yeah, well, this is a very short thing. It's related to an idea that popped up
It
the
didn't
other
work
day.
for you.
What?
I think you didn't understand Andrew. Andrew said, "Game over. You are
Okay.
going. You can. Your
The
proposal
SIG
has been rejected because you were too late." No,
It's
he
a
said that
SIG
take
compute meeting.
the topic and move it, and please propose it to compute meeting that is in 5 minutes, because we
Okay.
already talked about it here that you want to propagate the error that it's shown on the pod to propagate it to the VM or VMI.
Yes, that's
Yes.
it.
So
I mean,
just take it to the C compute meeting. Igor is
okay.
supporting you.
And because I like you, I'm going to put the
Yeah.
link in the chat.
So, Andrew, what I do, like, I'm going to assist the next meeting. We put
Exactly.
here. Okay.
1 second. There it is. It'll start in 5 minutes.
All right. It's in the agenda, or do I have to add it to the agenda?
You'll have to add it to the agenda.
All right.
Well, that's good.
Andrew, I help you with this. Then close the deal.
sorry. Well, thank you, everybody. Unless anyone has anything they'd like to throw in at the last minute. Too bad. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. I hope to see you again next week. Actually, I won't be here. I'm on leave. So someone else will have to moderate this meeting. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, good week, and we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
See you. Thanks. Bye. Bye.